What is good with you, ladies and gents of the world? Today we have a very special episode for y'all. We have a special guest, some hardcore rockers in here. We have a couple members of the amazing band Fatal Fall in the building. What is up, guys? How y'all doing?
How's it going?
So, right now we have two of you here, and I believe there's five, right, in the band.
Yep.
Can you start with introducing yourselves, and then let me know who we're missing right now as far as their names go? We'll start off with Vince here.
Yeah. I'm Vince Conway. I'm the vocalist for Fatal Fall. We're missing Nick Goodwin, our drummer, Sarah Biltz, bass player, and Aaron Hammer, our other guitarist.
Okay. And I'm Paul Hammer. I play guitar as well.
Yeah. So to get a little bit of a background on who you guys are and what you guys are doing, can you tell me a little bit about what Fatal Fall is?
It kind of started as a collaboration. My previous band, which Nick and Sarah actually were in for a while, Devour Once Dead, that band kind of dissolved and fell apart. And I didn't really have another project. And Nick and Sarah started a project, and the vocalist they originally had kind of fell through. So they just came up to me and was like, hey, you're not really doing anything right now. Do you want to come try out and see what comes of it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Well, to just ask you a question right after that, what was in your mind when they did ask you, hey, do you want to come and try out?
Well, I was kind of hesitant at first just because I guess I was actually in another band at the time, and two bands was starting to be a bit much. And my wife at the time was like, go ahead and try out, check it out, see what comes of it. And which I'm kind of glad I did, because the whole band together came together really well.
Yeah.
And of course my other band fell apart.
So how did you start? How did you get your start into the band?
I actually came in, Nick, Sarah, and Aaron were all together practicing with that same singer. We all actually met at a funeral, which is weird. And I used to play guitar in a band with Nick years ago. And just randomly after the funeral, he was just like, come to a practice, come hang out. So I came and hung out with all of them actually. And he's just like, we're looking for another guitar player. And they all looked at me and I'm like, I don't really have equipment anymore. I don't have any of the stuff, because it had been about 13 years.
Wow.
And then from there, I just kind of ordered all the equipment I needed and started playing again. And I thought when it began, we were just doing it for fun, and it just kind of took off from there. So
Coming off the hiatus of about that 13 year you were talking about there, what were the difficulties going back into playing?
it's still, after 5 years, still semi-difficult is the speed aspect of playing. It just seems like I lost a lot of it over 13 years. Other than that, I would pick up a guitar from time to time throughout 13 years and just mess around, but it was always kind of melodic guitar playing, just messing around for myself.
Yeah. I think I speak for a lot of other people as well when I say that I have a jealousy of like people that can just pick up an instrument and just start playing because they know it so well. They're just like, man, you guys are cool as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. But that is really cool that's how you like got back into it, because like they gave you that little push, right? Like shove back in. What was going on through your head then during that question of like, hey, can you join the band? Will you join the band? Like, I know you said about the equipment, but what was going on as far as like agreeing to like being there every time?
I was excited, man. It was kind of weird, because I think throughout that 13 years, we would try to get together and try to start something, and it just always fell through pretty much right away. I had kind of underwent a bunch of health problems and stuff too, so it was just it was exciting, man. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Just to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Almost like came at the right time kind of thing. Okay, nice. Yeah, and So talking about like forming the band and coming off of other bands that you guys are used to or have been in, what is different that you're trying to like? What is the different route that you're going with this time in this band that you've learned from? I not necessarily failures, but like the other experiences from other bands.
Well, I'd say we're a little more open to collectively bringing all our different styles of music that we like together because we all generally like kind of the same music but little offshoots. I'm probably the more heavier side. I do like my weird shit. You know, I dive into some pretty weird, funky music that
Yeah.
still is under the metal genre, but some people are like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" I'm like, "It's awesome. Shut up."
Yeah.
As to where like I would say Paul and Aaron and are probably more like the hard rock style, and Nick is kind of in between both of those. And uh, Sarah, she actually was in one of my bands called Fear the Broken, and she was good friends with the vocalist, and she'd never even picked up a bass before. And I was like actually the one that taught her how to play bass. You know, I would write all the parts and tab them out and be like, go home and learn it. And then when her and Nick got together, he really like fine tuned her and made her a bass player. So that was pretty awesome.
Nice. What would you guys classify you guys' music as? Metal or?
Yeah, I'd say we're metal.
And the only reason I bring up metal is because in your description on you guys' YouTube account, that's what I've learned from that is but you also say on there that you try to mix in a lot of different genres of different like that's under like that metal umbrella, the rock umbrella kind of thing.
Yeah.
One question that I have for you guys that's kind of like out of the way a little bit, not necessarily about the band itself, but just on your guys' like personal thoughts. When it comes to like metal, when it comes to rock, there's a big stigmatism that it always follows it with any kind of music like that, where people call it like devil music or like just very demonic. What's like your guys' like understanding of the music and how does it impact you? Because my personal belief is that there is aspects of things like that to it, but I feel like there's a lot more that people don't understand because they don't want to like dive deeper into it, you know?
I think it definitely has, the darker undertones. And I've told people, and even like going to watch other metal bands and going to shows and concerts, the metal community is probably like the nicest group of people. We're all part of that family, and everyone's there to have a good time, as opposed to some other genres. Like my mom used to work for the Tyson and the Orpheum and all that, and she hated working country concerts just because everyone got drunk and fought. But it's like, I never enjoy the music, it's gotta, be like that, where she actually enjoyed the metal shows that, Tyson, everything used to have, because the crowd was just that much easier. They're there to have fun. And, like people get kind of turned off or scared of like mosh pits and shit like that. And it's like, but if you're part of that community, you're there to have fun, not to kick the shit out of each other. It's like, there's always that unwritten rule, if like someone falls down, you pick them back up, and you're still there to like look after everybody and just have a good time. And for me, it's a very, very good like stress reliever, and it gets a lot of my, I would say pin up aggression out. Like I'm pretty relaxed after a show, and it's like, oh, that was nice.
Right. Yeah.
I get what you're saying about the devil music. I kind of grew up in I did grow up in a really religious household. It's kind of what it was labeled in our family as well. Over the years, though, I've kind of, because I'm pretty diverse. I like a little at everything. After learning to play that in my 20s, I was kind of just like, well, it's more about everybody can take a message from a song and portray it to fit their life.
Right.
That's kind of where I feel like it just really depends on the listener and how they take what's written. But doing it, I feel like, and I'm not trying to get all too religious, but I feel like God gave me this gift to create it. And that's kind of where I sit with it. So I don't look at it as devilish. I have talents that were given to me.
Yeah.
And that's how I just view it. I mean, everybody can kind of take it how they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view it.
Yeah, when we talk about things like this, there's always this notion with like any kind of music, really, besides I mean country or gospel kind of things, but like even the rap community, get that same kind of stigmatism where it's like your mom will listen to you listen to rap when you're young and be like, what kind of music are you listening, But I understand as well, kind of like what Vince said as well, where you talk about letting that frustration or just like that pent up energy out. When I was watching you guys perform at the Icky Nickel, I could definitely get that kind of like sensation of just hearing like the music pound and pound, and you're just kind of like, like when people mosh, I feel like it's kind of like that, right? Like where you're kind of letting it all out, and you have an area where you can let it out in a positive kind of notion. And even at that show, we saw there was a young kid there, and he had nice headphones on, but his dad obviously was giving him like that little experience of like the little mosh pit, of like the rock and roll kind of scene. And to me personally, that spoke like volume, because I was like, this is the next generation that gets to enjoy this kind of music as well. And when he grows up, he's not going to see this music as devil music. He's going to see it as, wow, that was an experience I had with my father, and this is the kind of music we bond over. So I kind of do like that. And the reason why I asked that question is just so we can get kind of more of an understanding on both fronts, Going back into the conversation, I did just mention that you guys did just perform at the Icky Nickel. One thing about the Icky Nickel that I've noticed is the people that were headlining was Hemlock. That name has came up a couple times when researching you guys. Can you guys give me a little bit of background between the relationship of you guys and Hemlock, which is a rock band that's amazing out here?
Yeah, they're my previous band. We played with them a bunch of times here in town, and we went. I took my daughter up to Sioux Falls for the Four Winds a few years ago, and they were headlining. She loves them, and she never got to see them live because here in town there's no all ages venues anymore. So I was like, let's go up and check them out. And their vocalist Chad, he's super cool. They're all like really cool and humble, and he remembered me, and like out of nowhere he's like, do you have my number? I'm like, no. Like, did you want it? And like, well, of course, and we just kind of threw it around with the band. I was like, I have his number. Should I see what it would take for them to take us out on tour with them? And they were totally receptive to that. And so we went out with them. We did 13 shows in 15 days with them. Went all the way through Colorado and New Mexico, and we even got to play Fremont Street in Las Vegas and Arizona, and it was like one of the best times I've ever had. And so we've always kept close with them, and a couple times they've come in and played here again. They specifically asked for us to play with them, get on the lineup. So
yeah, and it's a really good kind of what's the word for it, like combination almost, when you guys both are on the show. Like if you guys are headlining or if you guys are opening up for them, regardless, it's kind of like a nice like vibe where you guys kind of keep the same energy. And I have a little quick story of Hemlock as well. I don't know their names, so I'm sorry about that, but I believe it was one of their guitar players, which I think they're both guitar players. Like they have two, or was one bass?
Yeah.
So one of the guitar players, I guess they all play guitar, I think, actually. They're just badass. But one of the guys, I was walking actually to your tour bus, or your bus in the back there, and I didn't know who he was or anything like that. So he stopped me and he just said, like, hey, how you doing? He's like, what's up? And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And then he's like, what's your name? And I go, they call me Nasty, right? That's my company and everything, but people call me Nasty. So I was like, oh, it's Nasty. He goes, Nasty? That's fucking cool. I'm like, oh man, this guy's awesome, dude. So just I had to throw that in there as well. And I was just like, and then I saw him on stage and I'm like, oh shit, like, he's a part of Hemlock. Oh damn. Okay, cool. Um, but going a little bit in depth with that tour there, what was kind of some of the experiences that you guys were like experiencing on that tour? Because that sounds pretty rad, dude.
It was
So
definitely fun. It, kept us on our toes. And I think we really impressed them on our professionalism with it.
I think they had made comments that most bands that go on tour with them weren't able to stay on tour with them.
Yeah.
But as
This is rough.
they kind of told us that at the beginning, and I'm just like, well, are we gonna, even in my head, I'm just like, I miss being at home, but it was definitely worth it, and it was an amazing experience, and just how humble they were.
right.
Oh my God, man, just it was almost like a family, dude, the whole time, and it just made me feel comfortable. And usually, I'm pretty weary of being around people for long periods of time, and then they actually just made me feel at home the whole time.
Wow. What do you guys have like favorite moments from like your tour
Um,
or anything that just like stands out to you guys?
the Las Vegas show was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Just because that's where they're originally from. So,
What that kind of look like? If you guys could walk me through that a little bit.
it's definitely kind of intimidating at first, especially driving that huge RV with our trailer, trying to drive through downtown Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah. And I always seem to get stuck with the stupid drives, like through the mountains, and but it was definitely an experience that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I thought Mesa Theater was pretty cool too, though, like the big Orpheum theaters and stuff we'd played.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest crowd we played for. There's, I think, at least 200 people there.
Ooh.
Yeah, we really impressed a few of the promoters of the venues to where they threw us extra cash and stuff, and those were awesome. Here's and which was awesome. We were grateful for, and it just showed us that we could do it.
Yeah.
As a band, which we attempted this last summer, but to do it ourselves and try to book it and line it all up, it was still fun. I had a good time, but it was a lot less shows. I think we went out for 10 days and played, I think, 5, but we had all sorts of problems and issues.
Yeah.
It was just a shit show, but it was still like a good experience. It went from like, hey, this tour was awesome, and this one was not. The experience to do it and know that there's those ups and downs, was still an awesome time. Like, we got stranded in Grand Island at a truck stop for 24 hours, so we just made the best of it. We're stuck here. Let's just sit in this parking lot and get drunk.
Yeah, nice. See, I think the situations that are bad, it's always good to have like those people around you that can make that bad situation okay, even if there's not like a quick solution, it's like we're gonna be all right. So so that is good. And I mean, you have to go through the fire to know what it feels like anyways, right? So I do think that like being able to throw yourselves at that tour like that, and even with whatever hiccups you guys had, is kind of completely worth for the band, right? Like it builds the band's like relation with each other, and it just builds like okay, next time let's do this, or it's always experience. We live and grow. And one thing about you guys is music, because you guys are talking about how like good you guys are together as well. One question I had for myself, or even I bet the audience wonder as well, is what does the music process look like on the behind the scenes, as far as like when you guys are creating the songs and lyrics and instrumental,
I mean, I hate the writing process.
Mhm.
I'd rather, I think you said on
I'm the one that likes it when it
he likes
comes to
the writing
creative
process.
aspect.
I like the performance.
Yeah.
But we all partake in it. We all, at our jam spot, and somebody comes up with a riff, and we all have our input. even me, I'm like, well, hey, try this or do this. I don't just sit there and wait, be like, we'll finish the song and I'll, write lyrics later. I mean, my lyrics do typically come later. I would try to get an idea of how or what I want to do, but the writing process changes so much. I don't put anything concrete until it's completely done and we're happy with it. But we'll have our inputs and ideas, and so it's pretty nice. Even like Nick will pick up a guitar and be like, well, try it like this, or what about that?
You know, when it comes to, because I compare, uh, I feel like it's just my background is a lot in rap, hip hop kind of era. Um, I was talking to an artist named Snake Lucci, so it's not shout out to Snake Lucci. He was telling me about the writing process that he uses for his raps, where let's say he has a part where he raps a middle piece a lot faster than he does the outers. So he'll say something like, "Yeah, I'm talking, da 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 da," and he's slowing down. When he writes that, he kind of notates it on his book, where it kind of like he understands where to put the pauses, where to speed up. What does that look like for like rock or like metal? Like when you have like your screams and I forgot what song it was that I listened to, but you're just like and then you go into like this like softer voice. Like how do you know that you're gonna do that when you write this down?
I actually do that. Like when I'm writing
Mm-hmm.
too, I'll make like little dashes so I know like
Mm.
how to hit the syllables how I want it to fit. Which that's kind of funny that
Yeah.
hear somebody else do that. Like for me, the finished product, I might have like the song done and the lyrics are done, but um, it tends to like grow the more comfortable I am with it, and the more we perform it. I change. Like with the video you did for us, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of why I was like, well, I kind of want to redo the vocal track just because when we were recording that song, I was actually like finishing writing it as we were recording it. So I kind of like rushed through it and I didn't really know my cadence, how I wanted to do it. And it has changed a lot since um, the recording to the performing of it now. But
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm not gonna waste the time doing it. It sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
But otherwise we're gonna have another version of that song that's not on an album. And
Mm.
yeah, it continually grows. And like I said, I come from like probably the heaviest background of everybody in the band. I know it's been thrown around to like have me step out of my box a little bit. Like I did try to do some singing parts, and I like, no, I'm not gonna. I either need to know I nail it because I don't want to go up and perform it and sound like shit. So I'm just like,
All right.
so I try to incorporate more like the spoken word stuff and try to be as clear with my vocals, but still have like the heavy aspect
Yeah.
to give that angle. Yeah, 'cause my previous band, it was just straight, just guttural growls and shit, which I love and is awesome. But with this band, I'm trying to not really tame it down, but give a different perspective on how I do my vocals to give it that different angle.
It's a very demanding aspect to like music on that aspect. Like again, back to hip hop, like we don't have things like that, where people really have to put some emphasis on their voice and really like mess with their cadence on that. So like it's been a very eye-opening thing to me myself because like I'm not used to like I listen to rock and all that stuff growing up, but it's not on this aspect of things. So when I'm learning all this stuff this year, it's kind of like if you guys know who Gavin is, Pergat, shout out Gavin. He also has a kind of voice where he can growl like that too. And when I seen him do it, because we went on a little mini tour and I saw him do it live, and I was just like, what the hell, dude? And I'm just like, and the whole crowd felt the same way that I did because again, hip hop crowd, and you just hear, and I was just like, oh my goodness, dude, that is has to be demanding on your voice for sure. When we talk about performances, when we talk about going out here, it's very hard to, at least I believe, it's very hard to make a name for yourself out of Sioux City, or at least break that barrier of Sioux City or just Iowa in general. What do you guys find that helps you guys as a band or just artists in general to kind of break out that niche of like sticking in Sioux City, unless that is the plan? Or what aspects do you think you would like input into the band to kind of help that process?
I mean, you definitely don't want to like oversaturate. Like, we're all from around this area, um, and play every month at the same venue. People are going to be like, "Oh, I'll catch the next one," because there will be a next one.
Right.
You still got to have that good fan base to where people will come. I mean, we have our diehard members that will come to every show, which is like totally awesome. You still need to definitely branch out, and at least like I consider anywhere that you can drive home that night like a local show. Omaha, Sioux Falls, like you can make that trip. So I still consider those like local shows. Then you still build your fan base out there and make connections, and that's the social media has made it easy, but almost harder too, because it's the same thing. It's just if you're not constantly posting content, you get forgot about. So you constantly, and I've said that to the band. I'm like, even if it's just something stupid, just so it pops up on people's feeds.
Yes.
That mentality anymore with social media. People just scroll and scroll and scroll, and it's like hard to catch their attention for, more than 10 seconds. So it's still challenging, but it also benefits like at the same time.
Right. And when you talk about social media, it can go either way with that, because someone could post like a video of a dog like rolling on its back and then get 1 million views, and then you guys are showing like years of talent in one reel and it gets like 5 likes. So I understand the struggle with that as well. Are you guys feeling like you guys are connecting to like a younger generation as well when you guys are performing to these shows, or do you think it's more like, what kind of age range are you guys looking at for your guys' audience?
I mean, that's kind of what sucks about what venues are here in town, because they're all 21 and older. And I mean, the nickel being, taking over for where the marquee stopped, has almost been kind of a blessing, because they have all ages shows.
Yeah.
Because I think the law here is, if you have a full kitchen, it can be all ages.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they could do 21 or all ages, sorry. And so, I mean, it definitely opens the demographic. And I mean, even out on tour, a lot of the venues had like young kids in there, which was awesome. Because I think when we played, was it Las Vegas, New Mexico, there's a bunch of
it's there running up behind me on stage and shouting around.
So I got out there trying to like do their own mosh pit, and for what song I went out there and moshed with them, just because that was awesome. They you said before, they're gonna remember that. We saw this metal band and the vocalist came out and moshed with us.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You have that impact.
Yeah, because I mean, even one thing I noticed is that when Hemlock was performing that night that I was speaking of, I still saw you guys like out and like listening to them in the crowd and everything. So I thought that was really good, because then you have a more personable connection with these fans and just audience in general, right? Because they see you, oh, he's just like me, he's one of us, So I do think that's pretty badass too. They also have all ages shows here, and I think that's another good aspect, how you were talking about like getting the younger audience influenced into this kind of music as well. One thing I did want to ask that's a little more on the sensitive side is, Vince, I know you talked to me a little bit about mental health. I wanted to ask you guys, what does mental health mean to you guys, and what like kind of influence has it played, whether it's on you yourself or someone that you would have known?
Oh, like mental health is kind of coming to light for me like recently. I recently quit drinking. I've been partying, getting fucked up for like the last 30 years. Like I'm at like, I think today I'm at about 130 days not drinking.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
It's really changed my views on stuff. it's making me a little more, I guess, I don't want to say sensitive, but more aware of what people actually have going on. And me realizing like, oh shit, maybe I have some mental health issues as well, and diving into that, kind of going to the video that he shot, that song, Note in a Rope. I wrote that. Um, I had a nephew that committed suicide. Like, it's been almost 3 years now. And I wrote that song after he did that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the whole, it's kind of our suicide awareness song, kind of going out there like, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only person that feels like this.
Right.
It's okay to talk to somebody and not take it to that point.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes like an outside source to reach a person like that, because sometimes, like, even with music in general, you kind of get that help from that music when you understand that they're kind of feeling the same way, like you were just saying. So even like that song specifically that we have a music video coming out for as well, it would, honestly, I would think that like even people listening to what you just said would help them personally as well, because I bet you anything, like, if not half the world, a little less than half feel somewhat like they have like some mental health that they need to look after, Um, so I think that's a really good way to help people through your guys' music that you guys are pushing out as well. Um, when it comes to having this audience and having all this fan base coming in, I noticed another thing that you guys do as well is you guys really care about your merchandise. Because when I saw you guys out at that show, I looked at the table and there's a lot of different kind of accessories that people could buy off of you guys. What kind of like style are you guys going for when it comes to you guys' merch that you guys are putting your effort and money into?
I mean, we try to, you said, have a good variety, just because, you know, think of, not everybody has hundreds of dollars to spend on,
Right.
Merchandise. So we try to have at least a little bit of something that anybody can afford if they want something.
Yeah.
And, and being a band, and especially when we went out with Hemlock, it really showed, that's where bands make their money. You're like, and if you only have a couple things, it's still going to it's going to keep people who come to all your shows all the time from buying. You're like, oh, I already have that. Be like, oh, you got something new. So kind of works both ways.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh for the people that already have, pretty much.
I heard y'all have booty shorts.
Yeah.
Is this confirmed?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You need to wear a pair of.
Yeah. I'm actually rocking one of you guys' shirts too. The back says "fuck you," that's why, and I love that.
Yeah, and actually, the booty shorts say that on the back.
Oh yeah.
Except I had him cross out the "you" and put "me."
Right.
That's fucking me.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's smart.
Pretty sure some girls will buy those.
Yeah. No, it is really cool, especially when you can see like the audience wearing your items. So I have two last questions for you guys here. My second one, or my first one, I guess, is where do you guys see yourself that you are now? And then where do you guys see yourself, like, what kind of goals are you trying to achieve within the band?
I mean, right now, I would say this is probably the most successful band that I've been in, just for the short amount of time that we've been a band. I mean, 5 years really isn't, like, for a band, that's kind of a short life right there. A lot of bands don't even make it 5 years. The fact that we've played so many places outside of Sioux City, we're a local band, but we're not just the band that's just playing.
Right.
We're striving to, get out there and do what we can. And we do have a manager now who's kind of taking a lot of that weight off of us. That's, so I give a shout out to CJ, because he's busting his ass. And as of right now, we're not really paying him. He's just like, if I get you shows, give me a percentage of something. So what I can get you paid is, the more you make, the more I'll make, type thing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And I know he's trying to book another tour for us this summer. Probably going to try to do like more Midwest instead of out west this year, just because, like I said, that was kind of the last one was kind of a nightmare. So like, let's try to stay a little closer to home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to do like a 7 show, 7 days just to get out there. And I mean, I think every musician's dream and goal is to like make it. If I could do this as my job and be able to make a living off of it, even if I'm just scraping by, to be like, oh, I can have a place to live and eat some food,
Right.
I would be happy with that, just to have the experience to go travel and do what I love doing. It's better than punching a clock any day.
Yeah. And you guys do have some upcoming projects, don't you? Can we, I think you guys have an album, right?
Yeah, we're finishing writing our last song, and then in January, we're going to go record.
Is there a name to the album?
I think we decided on Purified. We're kind of trying to like keep our albums like in somewhat of a storyline-ish.
Yeah.
And so we all decided on that.
Oh, very nice.
And we got the video you shot for us coming out. We did have Mike Kessel record one for us. So
yeah,
we're trying to build up our YouTube channel a little bit.
Yeah, which the video that Mike Kessel, shout out Kessel Creations, shot for you guys is on your guys' YouTube channel, FatalFall. If you guys look up FatalFallBand on YouTube, you can find that. Like I also mentioned earlier, you guys also have some video reviews on there as well from another band member that you guys have.
Yeah.
Where he gives shout outs to other bands, local bands, any kind of band that he's like into at that moment. So you can kind of learn a lot, even just about like the scene in general, So there's a couple things you guys can watch on their YouTube channel. So that's always a good thing there. So my last question, and this one goes to both of you directly, is for the audience, for the people watching right now, do you have any advice, whether it be for life or whether it be for like an artist in a band? What kind of advice could you share to the audience to give them a little heads up on this world?
Ooh, I mean, me personally would be, if it's something you want to even just try, just not even knowing where it'll go or go at all, like, what do you really have to lose except for, not being able to say you never tried, like, go out there and do it, see what comes of it. I mean, I don't want to sound like cliche or anything, but life is too short. I swear to God, I blinked. I'm like, shit, I'm 45. Mm-hmm. Well, I swear to God, I was 20 like yesterday.
Yeah.
That's my main one, is age. I was gonna say, because we're kind of the oldest in the band. It's like, even if you're old, it's honestly worth it. It's being creative. It's fun, man. Just don't limit yourself. Just do what you can do. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. I think to add on to both of your guys' statement is basically there is no age to become yourself, like to truly be yourself in this world. But with that all being said, Fatal Fall, Nasty Collective, I appreciate you guys sitting down with me. If anybody out there also wants to check them out, Fatal Fall, I'll make sure, if I upload this to my channel, make sure to put you guys in the description as well. But yeah, awesome band all around. I think you guys are great people as well, from just talking to you guys. Again, we are recording here at the Sioux City Conservatory of Music, and we have Fatal Fall in building. So yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Much love to everybody out there, and stay safe. Doses.
Thank you.
We out.